open. So, are we excited about getting this show on the road? There is so much to learn. There is so much expertise in this room, and it is going to be a great 2 days. And in fact, we're going to kick it off. We're going to kick it off right now with a woman who is a absolute juggernaut in her field. She really takes on absolutely everything. I want to read a little bit about her bio. Firstly, I will tell you that her keynote topic is called "Just Do It: African Challenges and Opportunities in the Context of the Cybersecurity Market." Okay? And when I say she's a field leader, I mean, if you know anything about the field, her name will not be new to you. I'm, of course, talking about Anna Collard. She's our first keynote speaker here today. She's currently the SVP of Content Strategy and Evangelist for Know Before Africa, where she drives security awareness across the African continent. She's been working in the cybersecurity field for 18 years as Know Before Africa's Managing Director, and before that, as Security Architect and Consultant, where she assisted organizations build their cybersecurity defenses across South Africa, Europe, and the US. You want to talk about award-winning. Anna has won the Women in Tech Innovations Throughout Africa 2020 Award for Southern and Central Africa. She featured in the top 50 women in cybersecurity Africa 2020, as well as top 100 women in cyber 2020 globally by Cyber Defense magazine. And she was awarded the ICASA South Africa prestigious President Award for 2020. She holds various security certifications, and part-time is also a French teacher when she's not doing all of that. It's absolutely amazing, and we've got her here as our first speaker. Guys, will you please show lots of love and lots of enthusiasm? Your first keynote speaker for today, it's Anna Collard.
Thank you so much. Is my microphone working? Yeah. Thank you so much for having me today. It's a real privilege and an honor to be amongst, all the entrepreneurs and sort of innovators. And merci beaucoup à la France. So thank you for the investors to take the time. As I was introduced, my background is in security, but I'm also an entrepreneur. So I founded a company called Popcorn Training that we created content to create security awareness in a way that is fun and sort of engaging to people that are not in the tech industry. And that company was acquired 2 years ago by Know Before, so I'm now representing Know Before, but actually my baby was Popcorn Training. And I'm going to talk a bit more about that. So before I do that, I'd like to take you back about 10 days. And I know the weather today doesn't look like that, but we actually had a really nice summer day 10 days ago. And the morning after, I went for a run at a place called Hout Bay, which is in the most southern tip, pretty much, of Cape Town. And there's a beautiful road called Rocket Road that sort of meanders along the mountain, and you can see the sea and Table Mountain, Lion's Head from the back there. And on that morning, we had the heat from the day before was so strong still that when the stones emanate the heat from the bottom. And there was a cloud of mist hanging over the mountain. So while you're running, you've got the heat from the bottom, but you could feel that nice cloud on your body, which was really refreshing. And at the end of that road, you can either decide to turn around or you can cut down towards the ocean. And even though it was like misty, we didn't even see the ocean, we decided to do that, my friend Kate and I. And there's another little pathway that takes you all the way down to these rock formations. And usually the sea is really rough there, so you can't actually get to the other side. But on that day, it was really calm. So we decided to, go across, and there were beautiful sort of rock pools. And my friend is quite adventurous, so she took off her shirt and jumped into one of those rock pools. And I'm more cautious, especially when it comes to cold water, so I was hanging in the back. And but just seeing her having so much fun, I remembered that saying that, when you're on your deathbed, you don't regret the things that you've done, but the things you haven't done. So I decided, okay, let me give it a try. and very slowly and cautiously, like first looked for sea urchins and then put my foot in and like a granny wetted my arms and very slowly went into that rock pool. And this gentle wave came along and sort of submerged me in this cold, cold water. And I can tell you, I haven't felt that alive in ages. You know, when your skin feels like lots of needles prick you and you just feel instantly alive and sort of refreshed. And you probably, you wonder, okay, what's that got that rock pool experience to do with today? And the reason why I told this story is because there is a bit of an analogy between my entrepreneurial experience and that rock pool, and hence why I called the talk, just do it, but with care. So that's sort of, I've worked in corporate for quite a few years, like 8 years before I decided to jump or make the jump into the pool and become an entrepreneur. And I was lucky that, similar to my friend, that sort of motivated me. I had Old Mutual, which is, a big South African insurance company. They inspired me and motivated me. They said, just do it. You have a great idea. You must go for it, do it. And, because of their motivation and inspiration, I'm here today. And I guess that, the message really is to, like, if you take your background, even if you're not necessarily straight an entrepreneur and you go sort of the normal route, we all have these innovative ideas in it, and we must just try and find those rock pools and go for it. And if we consider, in terms of Africa, the opportunity that we have, and I know like the world has been crazy in 2020 and things look dire wherever you look, but I couldn't be happier to be living in Cape Town on the African continent, because if we look at the moment, we have 330 plus medium income consumers right now, and the African consumption is forecasted or estimated to hit, I think it's 2.5 trillion by 2025. That's not an insignificant number in terms of, potential market size. And if I, like for me, it's sort of a trillion. I know it's like a 1 with 12 zeros on it, but it doesn't compute, right? So if we split that number, 2.5 trillion, into like little bits and give everyone in the world $350, that's how much money or consumers in Africa are going to spend. The other positive thing that we've got going for us is obviously that sort of growth and digitization. And I mean, it's forecasted that the number of connected or like people that are plugged into the internet right now is 500 million. That is going to double within the next 2 years, predominantly on mobile devices, predominantly also a lot of people coming online for the first time, which is amazing. It's a massive opportunity, but at the same time, there is like a cybersecurity problem that we have here. Why? Because cyber criminals, as soon as we've got 20% internet penetration, they are there. It's interesting for them. We now at about 40%. Also, we have that like sort of high digitization growth. We've got nowhere in the world, even in Asia, we don't have that many sort of people doing financial transaction, mobile banking on their mobile devices than in Southern Africa. That's amazing, but it's also an opportunity for the bad guys. The people that are coming online, as I mentioned, many of them are first-time users. They haven't grown up with computers. They haven't had that kind of, background. They're not even aware that they're not aware of the problem, that there is a threat or a risk out there. And then on the flip side, you have the cyber criminals who they're shifting their attention towards the emerging economies. Africa is highly attractive to them because we don't have the regulations in place yet. It's sort of a safe harbor for them. There's an increase in what is called social engineering or people hacking, as well as mobile malware. So we have this ticking time bomb that we need to do something about. The cost of cybercrime, at the end of this year is expected to hit $6 trillion. Again, that's a crazy number that you can't fathom. But if we now split it up again, it means that, earlier on we said we give everybody $350. The criminals come along and they take $850 away again from everyone. That's how much cybercrime is impacting the global economy. So this is not an insignificant blip. It's really something that is costing us. But every time there is a challenge or a problem, there's also a massive opportunity. So the companies, the corporates, the governments, the consumers, we all have to protect ourselves. That means that the cybersecurity market is growing, regardless of what the rest of the economy is doing. Obviously, we've also seen sort of a slump, but overall, we are in hypergrowth. Cybersecurity is a growing market, and it's actually really difficult. Like, I'm trying to scale a business in hypergrowth. It's a nice problem to have, but it's not easy. So there's a massive opportunity even for Africa to invest more and come up with innovative solutions in the cybersecurity market. It's huge. We need more people, we need more solutions. The biggest issues that, not just in Africa, but it's particularly dire in Africa, that sort of your security teams or customers that need security solutions have is they don't have the skills. We don't get the people that have the understanding or the security background. They're just not available. So currently there's 4 million vacancy available in cybersecurity. That number is going up to 10 million, I think, within the next 2-3 years. In Africa, we only have 10,000 cybersecurity professionals across the whole continent. The company Oracle has that many security people working for them. We only have that many on the whole continent. We don't have enough people. And the guys and girls that we sort of have, they often get poached by overseas companies. So we need to do more to bring up young talent and sort of cybersecurity skills. We've conducted a survey just the other day across 450 plus educators and teachers across the continent, so various African countries. And the purpose behind that survey was mainly to find out how can we attract more girls to join the tech and the sort of cybersecurity industry. But what was quite concerning is that out of all of these schools, only 3.7% currently offer cybersecurity as a subject or as a sort of awareness topic to both their learners or the teachers. So it's very much in its infancy. It's not even being discussed in the schools. And if we consider that right now with everybody working online, doing online schooling, being cyber aware is a life skill. It's no longer a tech skill. We all should know how to conduct ourselves safely online. That is concerning, and that is something that needs innovative approaches to change. The other thing, obviously, I'm being a woman in cybersecurity, so I'm quite passionate about changing this narrative, but unfortunately, currently, globally, we only have 20% females in the security industry. In Africa, it's only 9%. In senior management, it's only 1%. So let's change that. And then I also looked at sort of the tech innovation, and I mean, it's amazing. Like, I think there's 650 innovation hubs now available in Africa, which is great, and also AfricArena bringing entrepreneurs and investors together. It's really amazing. I mean, when I started, I think 8 years ago, there wasn't much of that available. So it's awesome to have that. And the young men that come up with great innovations, it's awesome to see that. But like, why is it so male-dominated? Only 15% of the members of CC Hub apparently and iHub are female. So again, as an industry, can we do something to attract more girls and more women into the tech industry? Otherwise, we talk about fourth industrial revolution and all the cool stuff. We can't get there unless we bring the girls and the women, with us. So, like I mentioned, the sort of lack of skills. So some of the financial institutions, out of desperation, because it's not available, they started their own academies. Like Absa started an academy, Standard Bank started an internal security academy where they had like 1,000 applicants from within the bank to cross-skill or upskill in cybersecurity. So you can see there's a market for this kind of stuff and there's no solution yet. So the banks have to and the insurance companies have to come up with their own ways to get more skills because they can't find it. This is another innovation challenge we're kicking off in February where a couple of security vendors got together and we're working with the South African government or the Cybersecurity Hub as well as the universities to ask the youth to come up with innovative approaches to solve the government cybersecurity capacity problem. So this is kicking off in February. There's some nice prizes to be won. It's like a 2-month hackathon kind of innovation challenge. So at least there are things happening. And it's just to show you how much opportunity there is in the cybersecurity space. So really, my call to action, and I'm looking at the investors and the sort of corporates, government sector, is can we please do more to work together and sort of address that issue in the schools. Like to bring in tech and cybersecurity, and tech for me is one thing. You can't do tech without security. So to do more tech sort of curriculums from an early age. I've read a study that particularly girls get socialized to not like technology from an early age. So we actually need to intervene there on the kindergarten level and make it exciting for girls and boys to join the tech and security industry. Attract more women to the innovation hubs, another thing. Like, how can we make it more attractive for the females to join the innovation hubs? And then also, like, the corporates themselves, if you go into a corporate, like I worked in corporate for a while before I started my own entrepreneurial journey. There's a lot of sort of ingenuity and innovation that is hidden within the corporates themselves. So how can we go to these engineers that sit at, I don't know, at a Standard Bank, for example, or in other corporates, and get them to sort of share their innovations? Maybe there's, I don't know, like hackathon innovations amongst the corporates, not for startups, but for internal employees to come up with their innovations. That's another very African thing. Before the West sort of imposed our educational system, Africans learn through doing. I think this is another, I mean, in Germany, we also do that a lot, that you go into internships, you work there for a couple of months, and that is so valuable. So the corporates need to open up and get the youngsters in for more internship opportunities. And obviously more collaboration. Like that GovX Innovation Challenge, it's nice to see how government, the UWC, or the sort of educational institutions and the industry are working together to solve a problem. And then to all the entrepreneurs in the room, I was sort of scratching my brain to think, okay, what can I share that is helpful to you, like the things that I learned. And the one thing that I could probably, one of the best things that I learned was that I went to a client or prospective client with my idea before it was even a minimum viable product. I literally went there with a drawing. And that meant that the client, and this is the drawing, by the way, it was really like it was a drawing. And they gave me inputs, and they guided me, and they were part of it throughout the journey until like sort of the final product. And in this case, it was like an animation story, but the same applied to the actual LMS like application that we've built. So we always did it with the customer right from the beginning. And that solves two challenges. A, it makes sure that you're not building something nobody wants. So you have your customer guiding you in terms of relevance. And then B, you have your first fan. They may not maybe, in most cases, they will find the budget to buy your solution because they were part of it. But even if they don't, you have somebody that will promote you and sort of, will be part of your idea. So I think I was very fortunate, I must say, and I'm very grateful to Old Mutual that they enabled that part, and then I could take this and go to a Sanlam or another insurance company because I knew it worked for them and will work somewhere else. The other thing that somebody gave me, in terms of advice that I found very helpful, was if you look at life in terms of a canvas and you're standing in front of it, you can't see everything. So you have to decide where do you want to filter your lens on, and if you look for negative things, you will find the negative things. But if you focus on the positive and just keep your goal in mind, you can ignore all that other stuff. Don't pollute your attention with negativity or discrimination or whatever it might be that you might come across. It's not worth it. Focus your lens on the positive things, on the things that are working well. And I know it's tough during a pandemic and all the things that we're hearing, but on the other hand, there's a lot of opportunities, and try and find those nuggets of opportunities and focus on that. That's really helpful. Magic happens, I felt, when you take something that you understand, and that could be an understanding of a problem or your experience in a certain field, and then you take that to your network. And the network, even if you don't have that, it could be through initiatives like AfricArena or these innovation hubs where you get to meet other people that will introduce you to a network. So if you take your skill, your experience with the network, and then you throw in your authentic self, something that you really love, and it might not appeal to everyone, but if you're your first fan, if you would buy that product or you would like it, and you combine these three things, it's magic, and people will buy. So lastly, the call to action for the entrepreneurs in the room, or online, I suppose, is to, find African solutions for African problems. I know that we have very unique challenges, be that infrastructure, electricity, literacy, etc. That comes with a lot of unique opportunities. The edtech opportunity, I think, is massive on our continent. There's so much we can do. The cybersecurity opportunity, as I mentioned earlier on, it's a massive market. It's sort of really, it's in hyper growth. There's so much opportunity. There's so much demand in Africa, outside of Africa, for security solutions. And and then lastly, I think we all have that internal fire that if you want to get something done as an entrepreneur, we have that, or you tap into a bigger energy. I don't know what it is, but tap into that fire, because you need it to take you through all sorts of challenges. And I suppose find your rock pool, enjoy it, jump in it. I said just do it with care. But yeah, I hope you enjoy the rest of the conference, and thank you so much again for the opportunity to be here. It's a real honor. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We're going to sort of keep you up here for just a minute or two more,
Okay.
To see if there are any questions. Do we have any questions? Anna giving us many, many insights over there. Let's see. Entrepreneurs, any questions? Yes, sir. I'll relay it, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that could be. Yeah, that was quite a journey as well. So we were lucky enough to make it onto Gartner Magic Quadrant, which is in the IT space. Is sort of, it's an analyst report that maps all the leading vendors in a particular industry, and that's how that put us on a map. So we then weren't just a South African company, but we were globally. People knew who we were. We managed to be on there for 3 years in a row. And KnowBe4 is sort of the leading vendor in that space. And they came across what we did, obviously liked it, and then gave me a call to say, can we license your content? And I said, well, why would I license my content to my competitor? So I sort of said, no, not quite sure. And then they literally just dropped the bomb and said, would you be open to acquisition? And at the time, I did a handshake agreement with the private equity investor to sort of scale the business. And then I had to tell him, look, I've got this opportunity, and then they sent somebody out. We did the due diligence, which, oh God. And then the contracting phase, that all took about 6 months. And then we became part of it was 100% buyout. So I'm still in my 3-year earn-out agreement period. But I made the right decision. They're the leading vendor in that space. They're a great company to work for. And thank you.
Any other questions for Anna? Going once, going twice. Ladies and gentlemen, final remarks over here.
Yeah, I forgot to mention, please, hook me up on LinkedIn or Twitter. I'd love to chat more, or we can also chat in the break later, I think.
Awesome.
Cool.
Anna is around. Ladies and gentlemen, your
Thank
first
you.
keynote speaker, if we can please get a round of applause.
Thank you.
Anna Collard. We will definitely come and find you over there on LinkedIn. Let us move on, ladies and gentlemen, to our second keynote speaker. Are we still around? Yes, we're here. We're excited. We are in tune. I want to bring out to the stage over here a gentleman. I was reading his biog, and his biog reminds me of a quote by Wayne Gretzky. Do you guys know Wayne Gretzky? Yes, the hockey player, and he's got that famous quote where he says, "I skate to where the puck is going to be." And I don't know what this man knew that we did not know, but in 2019 he founded and became the CEO of the Valencia Institute, which is a global private online high school offering a curriculum